Hey everyone! So, you know how you type a question into an AI and, like, a second later, poof, a perfect answer just shows up? But have you ever stopped to wonder how it actually works? Like, what's really going on behind the scenes? Well, that's what we're going to break down today, step by step. So, what's really happening inside that black box? The moment you hit enter, you're kicking off this pretty incredible three-stage journey.
Yeah, it feels like magic, right? Like you're sending a question off to some digital oracle. I mean, where do the answers even come from?
That's it exactly. But, it's not actually magic. It's a process. And the whole thing starts with stage one, the input. To make this super clear, we're going to follow one simple question all the way through the system. Okay, let's go with a classic, why is the sky blue? Now, before the AI can even begin to figure out an answer, it has to do something really important. It has to translate our everyday language into something a computer can actually understand. And it does this with a process called tokenization. See, the AI doesn't read sentences the way you and I do. Nope. Instead, it basically shatters your prompt into these tiny, manageable little chunks called tokens. So each one of those pieces, why is the sky blue, even the question mark, each gets turned into its own unique number. And suddenly, the machine has a sequence of numbers that it can actually work with.
So they're like digital building blocks.
Precisely. And once it has those digital building blocks, we get to move on to the second and honestly the most complicated stage, processing. This is where the AI's brain really gets to work, hunting for patterns. Okay, so those numbered tokens we just talked about, they get fed into this huge thing called a neural network. And the best way to picture this network is to think of it like a giant, colossal digital library. The AI has basically read billions and billions of pages of text during its training, learning how all the words and all the ideas connect to each other. Now, the real secret sauce here is something called attention. It's this amazing mechanism that helps the AI figure out which of our tokens, which of our words are the most important. It's not just reading the words you see, it's actively weighing how relevant they are to one another. This attention is what allows the model to look at our question and go, aha, sky and blue. These are the key concepts here, and they're super connected. This is how it builds a kind of mathematical picture of what our prompt actually means.
So, is that how it actually understands what we're asking?
That's a great question. And in a way, yes, but probably not in the way you're thinking. And that brings us to the final stage, which shows how it all comes together, the output. I like to call this part the prediction game. Okay, so this is the absolute key takeaway. The AI doesn't know the answer. It doesn't have a fact stored somewhere that says the sky is blue because. Instead, based on all the patterns it's learned from all that data, it just makes a really, really good guess, a prediction about what the most likely next word should be. And it does this one single token at a time. So first it predicts the word the. Then, using that, it predicts the next word, sky. Then, based on the sky, it predicts is. It's literally building the entire answer one piece at a time, kind of like laying bricks. And here, you can see how it works. At every single step, for every single word, the model is calculating the probability for thousands of possible next tokens. And then it just picks the one with the highest score. It's just a massive, incredibly fast calculation that happens again and again and again.
Whoa, the scale of that is just mind-boggling.
It really is, isn't it? And this whole token-by-token prediction process, it has a fancy name, autoregressive generation. The process keeps going until the model predicts a special token that basically means end of sentence. And then all those little predicted pieces are stitched back together into the nice, clean sentence you see on your screen. So let's recap. It goes from your simple question to a string of numbers to a super deep analysis of patterns, and finally, to a word-by-word prediction game. And that, in a nutshell, is how an AI can create an answer that feels so coherent and, well, so human. And all of this brings us to one final big question for you to think about. Now that you've seen the mechanics behind it all, what's your take? Do you think the AI is truly understanding what you're asking? Or is it just an incredibly sophisticated prediction machine? We'd love to hear what you think, so drop a comment below.